Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is the by far most sold game on the Switch, with over 45.33 million units of the game being sold. You would expect a game that sold that many copies to be pretty good, and well, it is. This is certainly my favorite game in the Mario Kart series, as its mechanics and tracks are, in my opinion, the best in the entire series. However, that's not to say the game is perfect. No game is. So today, I want to take a look at a few nitpicks I have with the game and how I might have improved or fixed them. Keep in mind that these criticisms are by definition minor, so it's not like I punch a hole through my wall whenever I think of any of these. Oh, and just like in the last nitpick video, the second half of this video will be dedicated to nitpicks from the comment section. You all seem to really enjoy it when I did this for Smash Ultimate, so we're gonna keep this going for all future nitpick videos. This time though, we got a ton of comments in the community post, so it was a lot of fun to read through them all. Also, like last time, I picked a few I disagreed with, but still thought would make for an interesting discussion. But anyways, with that said, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, but let's jump right into my first nitpick. Let's start off nice and simple here. I kind of wish there was an option to do time trials in mirror mode. Now I do kind of understand why this isn't an option. Mirror mode doesn't really change anything gameplay wise besides obviously flipping everything. Having a 200cc option, for example, was something I think was a necessity as it completely changes how you play, so I'm happy they at least added that in here. Mirror mode isn't really as needed, but it still would be nice. Even though they are flipped versions of tracks, it makes a big difference as you have to try and wrap your head around the new turns. The amount of times I've run into the wall in Bowser's Castle mirror mode is incalculable. While we're kind of talking about mirror mode and speed, I really don't like how the speed, and if a course is in mirror mode or not, is random online. I wish there was a way to select a speed type or if it's in mirror mode before joining a lobby. Now yeah, I know you can make tournaments for this, but I'd want this to be an option for just the standard ranked mode as well. 150cc and 200cc are almost entirely different games, and I know a lot of people that strongly prefer one or the other. Whenever I play, I almost never get to see 200cc, even if everyone in my lobby has a really high ranking, which is pretty sad since I quite enjoy the mode. While on the topic of online, let's go ahead and wrap it through a bunch of these that I have for the online portion of the game. First off, only allowing for 2 people online is kind of annoying. I play Mario Kart with my dad and brother a lot, which means if we want to play online, one of us has to sit out. Usually it's my brother because he cheats, more on that later. Now the reason I think they do this is because the frame rate gets cut when playing with 3 players or more, but I'm just gonna hope that they eventually find a fix for that in the next game. Another online annoyance I have has to do with the items. Now I'm sure there's probably no great fix for this as it's probably lag related, but nothing makes me more annoyed than hitting an opponent with an item, seeing them get hit, and they just keep moving like nothing happened. It makes the whole online experience feel super annoying. It feels like almost every other item I throw out is gonna fake hit my opponent, so I just hope that the next Mario Kart game is able to fix this issue. Moving away from the races, we have the battle mode, which also has a thing that personally annoys me. So unlike the battle mode in the Wii U version, there are actually more than one battle modes. Some of them are better than others though. My personal ranking goes 5 coin runners, 4 balloon battle, 3 bomb blast, 2 shine runners, and 1 renegade roundup if you're the robbers, otherwise it'd be 3rd. Oh wait, now I can't make a battle mode ranking video. But anyway, the point is that these modes are very different from each other. That makes it all the more annoying that the battle mode is chosen at random online. This is much worse than the speeds being random, at least to me. The gameplay is so different between the different modes that it can strongly affect what course I'd want to pick. My favorite battle course is Battle Course 1, but I think it's really weak in Renegade Roundup, so I'd rather play on Woohoo Town in that mode. It sucks because the battle mode is chosen after you choose a map, so at the very least I'd swap which one gets chosen first. There are a lot of better solutions for this though, so here are some of mine. First off, have separate lobbies for each battle mode. The problem with this though is that it may make lobbies a lot smaller with the battle mode players all being spread out. In that case, they could also have players vote on a mode just like they do for a map. I'd combine the 2 votes together though as to make it not take forever, but this would be a much better solution than just leaving the mode as random. Then again though, maybe they have it on random so that coin runners actually gets a chance, cause no one would pick that garbage, stupid, dumb mode if they had the choice. But yeah, I do hope they fix this because it makes me not want to play battle mode online that much. Moving away from the online sphere, we have 2 item ones that I want to talk about. Now I have heard that some people think the item balance in this game is unfair and frustrating. However, I don't have a problem with that. I personally think Mario Kart is supposed to be chaotic, so even if it does sometimes make me want to throw my controller across the room, I think that's kind of part of the appeal. With that said though, the item system still isn't perfect. One thing that really annoys me is when a defensive item like a banana just straight up doesn't work and you still get hit by a red shell or something despite it coming to contact with the banana. This can also happen with the sound horn too, where you use the the item, but you still get hit beforehand. This has happened to me more times than I can count, and it's super frustrating to lose not only some speed, but your item as well for no reason. I'm guessing this is because they hit the player and item on the exact same frame, but I think in that case it should prioritize either the player or the item. My other nitpick though has to do more with how items function. While most items you just press down once and they get used, certain items like the boomerang, fire flower, and especially golden mushroom require you to hit the item button multiple times to get rid of them. Personally, I find this to be extremely annoying, especially if you have a good item in your second slot that you really want to use. There have been times when I've gotten stuck with a golden mushroom and bullet together, but didn't get to use the bullet before getting struck by lightning because I had to get rid of the golden mushroom. I wish there was some way to just get rid of these items quickly. The boomerang works pretty well here with it going into your second slot after one use, but the others are just very annoying to me. Heck, I wouldn't even mind a button to just get rid of an item without using it at all. I'm honestly curious to see how that would affect the game, if at all. Now I want to take a look at the character roster. Now, unlike a lot of people, I think Mario Kart 8 Deluxe actually has a really good roster. Okay, maybe that's just because Dry Bones is on it, but still. The only real thing I would personally change about it would be to give most of the characters alternate costumes. Mario Kart Tour does this excellently, with most characters having multiple different appearances that they can use. Considering Smash Ultimate is able to have 8 costumes for all of its characters, I don't think asking for a few for each Mario Kart character is unrealistic. As of right now, only a few characters have alternate costumes: Yoshi, Shy Guy, Link, Inkling Girl, Inkling Boy, the Miis, and Metal Mario. It'd be super easy to add costumes onto more characters than just them too. Toad is an obvious one because they come in several different colors in the Mario series. Honestly, I'm surprised they don't already have costumes. Mario has got numerous different outfits from Odyssey to choose from on top of all of the power-ups throughout the series. Koopas could come with their own different shell colors too. I'm sure Blue Koopa Troopa fans have been miserable for decades now. I just think this would be a nice way to spice things up, especially if they give them to Waluigi, because dear lord, I'm tired of seeing this normal look in Mario Kart 8. Obviously, new characters would be nice to see. Pauline, Cappy, Funky Kong, etc. would all be great, but I think costumes are a much bigger missed opportunity. Alright, I think we were away from battle mode for long enough, so why don't I give you one more related to the mode. In previous Mario Kart games, Balloon Battle actually worked a bit differently than it does now. In Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, the game mode is based on KOs. Basically, whoever gets the most hits will win, but if they have all their balloons popped, their kills will be cut in half. Afterwards though, they will be able to respawn to continue playing the mode. Now as that is, I do actually quite enjoy it. I think it's a lot of fun, and it's nice that people don't have to sit out and wait for others to finish. On the other hand though, the way battle mode used to work was equally as fun, if not more fun. Basically, it used to be a last man standing game mode, where the winner was determined by who didn't get their balloons popped. This led to the game mode being significantly more intense, so it's understandable that a lot of people are sad that there's no option to play this way. To make myself clear, this should definitely only be an option. Many people do prefer the KO mode, and I think it's better for online play, but having the last man standing system would be so much fun. I used to play battle mode in Mario Kart DS a ton, probably more than the races, so the classic balloon battle mode will always have a special place in my heart. Now the rest of my nitpicks are much smaller things that just affect certain tracks, so we'll run through these pretty quickly. First off, I'm still a bit annoyed about the Booster Course Pack's graphics. Granted, they are actually getting better. Waluigi Pinball actually looks on the level with the rest of the game, and the other Wave 2 tracks except for Mario Circuit 3 look solid as well, but I just wish the whole thing was on the quality of the rest of Mario Kart 8. Speaking of the Booster Course Pack though, the lack of anti-gravity is very annoying. Yes, Sky High Sundae has it, but they don't really design the track around it, and it's also the only track to have it of the 16 we got so far. I think anti-gravity would have been a great addition to certain tracks, namely Waluigi Pinball, but it's not looking very likely that we'll be getting any good usage of this in future tracks. As for specifics on the Booster Course tracks themselves, I only have 2. First off, Waluigi Pinball not getting a new remix really annoys me. That makes this the very first track in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe to share a song with another track, that being Wario Stadium. Now yes, these two did share the same song in Mario Kart DS, however I think they definitely could have gotten 2 different remixes. Don't get me wrong, the remix they do have is still a banger, it is Waluigi Pinball after all, but having a new song would have been nice. My other nitpick has to do with Sky Garden. To demonstrate my nitpick, here is a clip I got from playing online with my dad, just watch my side. Fix Lakitu. My next nitpick has to do with Yoshi's Circuit, as they actually entirely cut a shortcut from the original track. This isn't a small or unintentional shortcut either. In Double Dash, there's this pretty major hidden path that's just not present in the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe version. Luckily, Yoshi's Circuit is a fantastic track as is, but having more depth would certainly not hurt. But of course, my biggest nitpick with any of the base game tracks has to be the fact that you can't drive up to Peach's castle on Royal Raceway anymore. In the N64 original, you used to be able to explore the entirety of the castle grounds, which were ripped straight from Mario 64. This is probably my favorite Easter egg in the entire Mario Kart series, and the fact that it was cut from Mario Kart 8 is a massive shame. Luckily, the track is still really good, but man, that stings. And for my final nitpick before getting to the comments, my brother cheats at the game. Like, listen, he gets way better items than he ever should. However, I'm sure you all just think he could be getting lucky, but we got proof of him cheating. I want you all to take a look at this replay. See White Shy Guy here? That's my brother, and he is currently falling off the track. Seems like a pretty clear-cut case of being a worse player, right? Well, let's keep watching. Well, now he's pretty much entirely below the track. What a blunder. Guess he'll just have to lose the race now. He teleported back up. How could I have not expected that? It was such an obvious move. Well played. Honestly, well played. I'm just clearly not as skilled as him. Clearly he deserved to win this race over everyone else who actually managed to stay on the track. Anyways, that's it for my nitpicks. Time to jump into the comments. We got quite a few comment suggested nitpicks to run through this time around, since a lot of you had some pretty interesting thoughts that I had never even considered. First off, June says that they wish that the Miis weren't forced to wear their helmets. Now on the one hand, I personally think that this is the best Miis have ever been because the amiibo costumes are really cool, but on the other, yeah, the helmet thing is kinda stupid. Since you're gonna be seeing Miis from the back most of the time, there's almost no customization for them anymore unless the Miis happen to turn towards the camera. Definitely agree that they should have an option to remove the helmet. Keep it around for those who want it, but also let us have an option. Sticking to the character select screen, Birthday Boy Bam is disappointed in the lack of needing to unlock characters. In Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, there is literally only one unlockable character, that being Gold Mario. Now I do think they handled him extremely well, requiring the player to get first place in all 200cc Grand Prix, which is a fantastic place to put it. The main problem though has to do with the fact that he's the only unlockable character. Now there's definitely a good argument on both sides for if there should or shouldn't be unlockables. To be quite honest, I'm not even sure exactly what side I fall on. Obviously, having unlockables would give you more things to do. However, since this game is a port, many players have already unlocked the characters in the Wii U version. Plus, things like car parts are still unlockable, so there's not a complete lack of content to try and get. So for this one, I'm in the middle of. I could always go for more unlockables, but I'm definitely not upset with how it is now. One last minor character one. Red Faria says they want DLC characters, and yeah, I definitely agree with that. It'd be super nice to have some more characters. Let's look at a few gameplay option nitpicks. J-Game says, something that has always bothered me is the fact that you can't play mirror tracks on whatever CC you want. As it is right now, mirror mode only works on 150cc, which I also think is pretty lame. I would definitely like to try some mirror mode 200cc to torture myself, and I'm sure some babies would probably want 50cc mirror mode too. I can't imagine this would be hard to add at all. I'm sure they could even do this in an update, so I hope they look into that. Xavier Lopez says, I hate the fact that they removed the option to have 3 and 5 races from the Wii U version. I didn't even know these were options, but yeah, I don't see a reason to have them cut. Metal Legacy says, local players have the don't go off-road assist on by default. You have to remember to manually turn that off for each player each and every time they join. This is a problem I run into all the time since I play a lot locally. I don't understand why the auto steering being on is the default. At the very least, it should save if it was turned off for that player before, because as it is now, we have to remember to remove it before playing. There have been quite a few times where we haven't remembered to, so having it off by default, or better yet, saving its status between play sessions would be fantastic. Onto a few item ones, we have Boss Guy, who is annoyed by the fact that when you hold an item behind you, it won't be removed from your item slot like in previous Mario Kart titles. This is actually the first one I disagree with. If we only had one item slot like in the original Mario Kart 8, then yeah, this complaint is more than fair, but since we have 2 now, it essentially works the same anyway. All it would do is lead to even more items, and I think Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is already chaotic enough. Jasper wishes that the item system worked more like it does in Smash Ultimate. There you are able to disable any item you want to. If you're raging too hard because your little brother killed you with a smoke ball, then you can just get rid of it. In Mario Kart though, you can't disable specific items. Instead, they just have a few preset item rules. I'm fine having the presets, but the ability to disable specific items would be a nice change. Speaking of these item presets though, Gamian8 says, the fact that mushrooms only still has coins as an item. Does this look like a mushroom to you? Didn't think so. This should not be a problem. The final item thing is more of a suggestion, which comes from Stuffy Cat, who's just having a system to swap items between your first and second slot. There are definitely upsides and downsides to this. It adds a bit of strategy to the game as it lets you decide when to use your items. However, I also think it may remove some risk in the game as well. As the game is, you sometimes have to make tough decisions on whether or not to use an item. Say you have a sound horn and a red shell is coming at you. Do you use it or wait for a blue shell? A situation like this would almost never occur if we could switch items, items, as we could almost always keep the sound horn in slot 2. I'm not exactly against the suggestion, but there are a lot of things we need to keep in mind about a system like this. Let's jump over to a few of your battle mode suggestions. Alex Cartoons wishes that there were more than 8 battle maps. While it does kind of suck how few battle tracks this game has, I honestly do think it's enough. Absolutely not saying that more would be bad, I would love to see more, but if they never add any, I think I'd be okay with what we have. Almond Clamp 8746 wants the battle mode exclusive turnaround feature to also be present during races. If you didn't know, in battle mode if you hold break, you'll be able to turn around in place, which is perfect for the non-linear battle maps. This feature, however, is not in the racing mode at all. I'm not sure why they would go through the effort of separating these two modes like that, but it may be helpful if you accidentally get stuck in a really tight spot. I again don't really care if this one's brought over, but it would be kinda cool, I guess. Iron Wolf 306 says, why can't we play the battle courses from the Wii U version? They were so good.
Huh?
And for the rest of our nitpicks, they'll all just be sort of random little things. I don't even know how to begin to pronounce this person's name, so Internet864 says that they don't like how you can only select 3 courses or random while playing online. Now this may surprise some of you, but I actually disagree with this being a bad thing. Due to the 3 tracks available being random, you get to play on a much greater variety of them, as people won't always say vote for the most popular tracks. And I mean, yeah, the popular tracks are generally really good, but you gotta mix it up every once in a while, and I think this 3-course system works perfectly. Simon Domino says, Birdo is referenced multiple times throughout the game, the Women of Racing organization signs, the flags of Sydney Sprint, and a piece of audio that plays on Sunshine Airport, yet she's not a playable character. Yeah, I do kind of agree, that's a little mean to Birdo. I mean, the spin-off games are her only real chance to shine, and it sucks that she isn't in the biggest one ever. Oh, and also I really like this reply from Adam Lolboo. Birdo has a big mouth, It was just so stupid and random, I don't know, I thought it was funny. The Aesthetic Skyline wishes that the game had custom emblems like in Mario Kart DS. This was basically a really neat feature where you could draw pixel art for the front of your cart, and it is kinda sad that this is never returned. Granted, I never really used it, but I know a lot of people who did, so this should definitely come back. John Set Radio says, the fact that Waluigi Pinball doesn't play the sound effect when you leave the pinball table like it does in DS, 7, and Tour, but that sound effect is played when previewing the course before the race starts. This was just a cute little touch in those games to make this track even more unique. Here's what it sounded like. I'm not sure why this would have been cut. Maybe it was because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has local multiplayer and that may be weird to hear overlapped over and over again, but they could also just keep the sound effect single player exclusive if they really wanted to. Hope they consider adding this back in an update like they did for the Coconut Mall cars. Jake says, Ninja Hideaway being credited as a new course in the Grand Prix when it is, in fact, from Tour. I have no clue why they did that, but it's there regardless. This one personally annoys me a lot too. That's mostly because I got a lot of people commenting on my Wave 1 review saying I was wrong for saying this track is from Tour. All they had to do was a little research, but no, because Nintendo messed up, it's my fault. Don't worry, I love you guys. But yeah, what I'm gonna guess happened is that this was supposed to be an original track for 8 Deluxe, but for some reason it got delayed and came out on Tour first. So it would have basically been the first Wave Sky High Sunday. Adam Benson says, the trophies for every cup that has ever been DLC, including Bell, Egg, etc., aren't as detailed as the trophies for the OG 8 cups. The main game's Grand Prix trophies are all fantastic. They all have unique designs based on their symbol. It's really fun to look at all of these. However, the same cannot be said for the DLC cups. That includes the 4 from the original Mario Kart 8. All they do for these trophies is use the exact same model but swap out the emblem. This just looks really boring and kind of lazy. This is another one I hope they'll update, but I don't think they will because not that many people are intensely hoping this comes. And our final nitpick of the day comes from MooMooCat135, where they say, the thwomps have faces on both sides, and once you notice it, you'll never unsee it. I did not know this. I do not like this. I am personally quite upset about learning this information, actually. So thank you for sharing, MooMooCat135. Unfortunately, you are now permanently banned from ever commenting on the channel again. Hope it was worth it. But anyways, that's it for this video. Are you my brother's red shell supplier and are helping him cheat to win? Let me know in the comments. Seriously, I need to know. But yeah, this was just as much fun to make as the Smash Nitpicks video. I'm having a lot of fun with this new comment format. If you have a game you want covered in this series next, be sure to let me know in the comments. I've got a few other longer videos in the works right now as well, so hopefully you all look forward to seeing those. But anyways, dry bones for Smash, and I'll see you guys next time.